So let me ask y'all this. What if Drake never responded to Kendrick? What if Drake never responded to Kendrick? How do you think this would have went? Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Shout out to everybody who's watching right now. If you are watching, hit that like button for me. I want you right now, if you are watching this and you're new to the channel, or if you're here from the channel, hit that like button for me. Or the dislike button is all good. But this is my question. What if Drake never responded to Kendrick? How do you think everything would have ended up? So the thing is, on one end, right? His fans had always say Drake is bigger than Kendrick. Drake is the bigger artist, right? So if Drake didn't respond to him, right, would it have hurt Drake? Would it have hurt his career, right? Would it have put a stain on his career like it did since he responded? What if he didn't respond? Yeah, the hip hop community would have been like, oh, he's pussy, he's whack, he's weak. Yeah, but a lot of the core hip hop community don't like him anyway, right? So what do you think about if he just didn't say nothing? Because if you're up here and this person is down here, why give them that much attention, right? And I'm just figuratively speaking. Some people feel like the biggest mistake Drake did was respond. But to me, it's a double-edged sword. If he did respond, I mean, since he did, if he did respond, he was going to lose. If he didn't respond, he was going to lose because everybody would have been calling him out saying you're afraid of Kendrick. But to play devil's advocate, Kendrick would have basically been talking to himself, and maybe Drake fans could be like, ain't nobody trying to listen to you. Ain't nobody trying to listen to you. Because if you ignore something, because keep in mind, Kendrick didn't come out with a diss record. Kendrick came out with a couple of diss bars. It's not like Kendrick put out a Euphoria, okay? If Kendrick put out a Euphoria, you know what I'm saying, then that would have kind of been different, but all he did was throw a couple of warning shots on like that. But the MC and Drake, if it's still there, felt the need to respond, and I applaud him for that. My only wish is that he took it more serious and actually tried to rap on Kendrick's level. Because I said that I wanted Drake to go into the Heart Part 6 mode because he was rapping on there, but it was too late. Kendrick had already had the world going with the hype record, and then you want to come in with the more subtle, yeah, let's talk about it like this. No, bro, we out here partying. It's Cinco de Mayo weekend. Like, come on. But if he did, if like it was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. So if he did respond like he did, he was gonna lose. I knew Drake was gonna lose this battle. It wasn't surprising to me at all. You go back to my episode when I had PM and when I had CJ on the broadcast, like they were saying that he was gonna win and he was gonna respond. I'm like, have y'all? I think the game had forgotten about how monumental of an artist Kendrick is, or Kendrick was. They forgot how many hit records he had. He had at that time 3 classic albums back to back. To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn, arguably debatable, right? So I knew the man that made To Pimp a Butterfly, I knew that he was gonna slaughter Drake. I knew that he would slaughter J. Cole, but I think J. Cole would have been a better battle, though. So I ain't even gonna say slaughter. I think that would have been a good matchup, right? J. Cole had that untapped potential. But if Drake didn't respond, hip hop, the core hip hop community would have been like, he's pussy, he ain't nothing, blase skip. But would that have been hurtful to his career? Because I was listening to what Maul was saying, you know, would that have affected his fan base, his bottom line? Drake wanted to be respected in the MC category, which I can't blame him, right? But if he did ignore him, a lot of people talk ish about him anyway. A lot of people in the hardcore hip hop community, we don't consider him as a real rapper because he uses ghostwriters. So would it have been damaging like it is now? See, since he responded to Kendrick, the whole PDF file thing then came, and now he's suing. And I forgot to add that into the aftermath. Drake is suing the lawsuit. Silly me. How could I forget that? So that damaged his career. Now, I keep saying I don't think Drake's career is over. I do think that it's not where it was going, where it was. Drake's career isn't over, but it's not ever going to be to what it used to be. So, for all you old hoes who think that he's going to make another album like Scorpion and have like 8 hits back to back and he's going to take the game over, I'm sorry. It just ain't going to happen. Kendrick has the wave right now. Drake can't snatch that away from him. Shout out to Jawad. You said, yeah, people are going to make fun of him if he hadn't responded. But by this time, most people would have forgotten that that even happened. And it would have been a better option for Drake, in my opinion. Over time, I agree with that, Jawad. Now, core hip hop community would have been like, oh, you know, he pussy. But that's not his core fan base, is it? Over time, Kendrick would have been battling himself. We wouldn't have got a Not Like Us. We wouldn't have got a Euphoria. All we would have gotten was that Like That song with that verse, wondering what if. And the fans could have said, see that pipsqueak right there? He tried to get Drake, the GOAT, to come to his level and stuff. And they could have just kept saying Drake is the big artist. See, now they're being delusional. But back then, they would have had a valid argument. Because if I throw shots at you and you don't throw any shots back, it's not a war. If I hit you in your face and you don't hit back, it's not a fight. Yeah, I'm the tough guy, and you could look bad, but if you at the end of the day, you be like, man, nah, I ain't feel like doing. I'm bigger than that. You know, your fan base wouldn't care. So, yeah, it's a good what if situation. What if he didn't respond? So y'all let me know in the comments what you think about that. I agree with Gerard. Let me show again. Yeah, by this time, a year later, we probably his fan base would have probably forgot about it, or the industry would have just been like a what if situation with Drake. But I think he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. I'm glad that he did, but it was damaging to his career because the PDF allegations and all this other stuff wouldn't have happened. Kendrick wouldn't have got the Super Bowl. GNX wouldn't have came out. Kendrick wouldn't have had this generational run if Kendrick wouldn't have had this generational run if Drake not responded to him. So that's what you have to take into consideration. Maybe it was best Drake just to keep doing what he was doing.